Hello, everyone, and good evening. Welcome to Adam's TV Podcast. I am your host, Adam Samuel. Today, we have already made it to the finale, part one of the finale of America's Got Talent, The Champions. This was the performance episode. Next week, we get the results. There is a lot to go through, including some stuff that's coming up for next season of America's Got Talent. There's a lot to talk about. Here with me for the ride is Eric. How you doing today, Eric?
I am doing good. Bittersweet news on that upcoming season stuff, but we'll get to that in a bit. I thought this was a good episode. I'd give it a solid B plus A minus.
I came away from this episode thinking this performance show was okay. And I feel like for a season that's America's Got Talent, The Champions, it shouldn't be okay. Like, I feel like some of these acts were clearly fodder acts, and I feel like there shouldn't be fodder acts in something called The Champions when there's like 3, maybe even 4 acts that I'm thinking they maybe don't belong like at this round. They're out of their league. Yeah. It kind of takes away the legitimacy of the whole kind of concept of this being America's Got Talent, The Champions. That's just one of my findings. But I guess let's kind of get to the biggest news. Which is the judges shakeup. I guess that's the headline. That's kind of everyone's been talking. Yeah, this next upcoming season, we are going to be losing Heidi Klum and Mel B. But Howie Mandel is
he said, the cockroach that won't die. He's the Twinkie. He's the Twinkies after the apocalypse. He'll never disappear.
I said the apocalypse will happen. And Howie Mandel will still be at the judges table of America's Got Talent. He's never going away.
Then again, we thought Randy would never go away, and that eventually happened. So, fingers crossed.
Eric, what do you think of this decision? What do you make of it? Explain it to me. What's going on here?
Well, I do wish. Honestly, the only disappointing thing for me is they got rid of Mel and kept Howie.
I liked Mel B. She was my favorite judge of this panel.
She at least wasn't the worst one. She was good. She wasn't great, I didn't think, all the time, but she was good. She would often give constructive criticism. Howie, on the other hand, is probably the worst talent show judge I think I've ever seen. So I'm a little bit infuriated that he gets to stay and the other two get to go. America's Got Talent's going to have Americans on the judges panel again. That's good, I guess.
That is the biggest plot twist of this entire season. Of all of the past seasons recently, that is the big news. But let's kind of take a look at these new judges that are going to be joining. Gabrielle Union and Julianne Hough. I'm familiar with Julianne. I have absolutely no idea who Gabrielle Union is. Do you know who she is, Eric?
I don't know either of them. So I'm going into this pretty blind. I've heard mixed things about Julianne on Dancing with the Stars, but we'll see. My hope is that they will be honest and constructive, at least better than Hallie. They can't be worse than Hallie, so that's good.
I really liked... Oh, go on. I'm sorry.
We also need to talk about Terry Crews staying on as host. That's at least good news.
I'm a little bit like... The host should never be like a focal point of the episode, but, he does his job. He doesn't
suck it up the joint.
Yeah, so you know what? Okay, you're fine, Terry. Like that's like I don't watch American Idol for Ryan Seacrest. I don't watch Dancing with the Stars for the judges or whatever. But you do your job. You're not Howie, so fine.
He's much better than not Howie. He's also a lot better than Tyra. So that's a step up. We know that much is a step up. We'll see about the judges.
I'm just looking at Gabrielle Union's Wikipedia page. It describes her as an actress, activist, and author. She was on She's All That, 10 Things I Hate About You, The Brothers, and a whole host of other things that just go on. Neo Ned, Cadillac Records, Top 5. I have no idea. I don't know who she is. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm sure we'll find out more about her.
I'm gonna guarantee the first 5 minutes of the upcoming season of America's Got Talent.
We'll be telling us all about all the judges and why we should care about them.
Oh God. Anyway, let's at this moment, I want to lower the mood a little bit. I want to eulogize the loss of Heidi Klum and Mel B are lame ducks of the panel, and I kind of like the. Well, I didn't like the panel, but I kind of like.
You don't know how good it was until it's gone, is what you're gonna say.
I guess that's what it is, because I'm kind of like they've been the panel for so long in my head. Like, scratch Simon and replace him with Howard Stern, but like I have this image of like these faces, and it's kind of changing, and it feels a little weird.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that it's changing at all, honestly, because the ratings have been kicking butt. So I'm surprised that Simon's going to actually change things. But of course he changes them, and he changes the wrong things, because that's what Simon does best, change wrong things.
Yeah, this does confirm my suspicions, though, that Terry Crews, that this season was kind of a trial for him. Yeah. And maybe going forward, Simon kind of had his eye on him, kind of sticking around long term. I'm just trying to think what other points to make. So are you feeling sad about losing Heidi Klum and Mel B?
Mel B, yes. Heidi Klum, no.
All right. Well,
that's simple. I'm not going to miss Heidi at all. I might miss Mel a little bit.
The one thing I will say is I'm going to be a little glad that Heidi's kind of hatred against certain comedy acts is not going to be there. Like, she always talks about how I want a family comedy act. Like,
yeah,
comedy isn't all take your kids to the bar and watch someone tell jokes. Anyway, let's get back to some of the headlines. The first headline of this episode is we get 2 wild cards. John Dorenbos, Darcy Lynn. I'm happy with Darcy. What about you, Eric?
I'll take her too. I'm really happy with Darcy, and we'll talk about what I think is her. I think one of the best Got Talent performances I've ever seen in my life.
Whoa, high praise. We'll be talking about Darcy in a minute. What do you think about John Dorenbos? Are you happy? You know, I got to tell you, I will say
he has a great presentation and a great story. His tricks are super easy to figure out.
I will say I really liked his performance tonight, and we'll talk about that in a few more minutes. But for me, John Dorenbos is kind of like the contestant that's kind of just always advancing and is never the one I kind of have my eye on. Like, every season of every show, there's like that one contestant that's just kind of, they're going to make it far, but you kind of aren't really invested. So you kind of watch their performances kind of a little bit like, all right, let's kind of move it along. But I got to tell you, I really enjoyed his performance tonight.
I enjoyed it, but
yeah, he's kind of not my favorite, not the best, which just, again, kind of digs that like hole into my heart that this is America's Got Talent, the champions. And I feel like,
as Howie would say, it's the Champions Edition. You have to step up your game.
You should not have to step up your game if it's the Champions. You should already be on that.
Yeah. We'll have plenty more time to talk about Howie and how terrible he is.
All right. So otherwise, one other point I want to mention is we got a performance episode that last night. We're going to have a results show next week. You know, I was watching these. I was thinking over this format kind of in my head, and I was thinking, okay, we've got 2 more episodes. Why didn't we take our top 12, cut it down to a top 6, and have that top 6 be the finale? Like, maybe because the super fans are voting already, so why not? All right, this episode we go to 6. The next episode, it's the finale. All right, you got 2 hours. The first hour, you have the performances. You could easily shove 6 performances into 1 hour. That last hour, you could have your finale that I know the judges, the producers want, and Simon wants, with the guest celebrities and all that stuff. It just kind of left me scratching my head thinking that this could have been done so much better. What do you think about that, Eric?
Well, if I was editing this show, the video version, I would put it could have been done so much better. By the way, that's the title of the episode this week. It could have been done so much better.
Hashtag. Yeah, that's just something just bothers me. Like, because I understand, because the producers think, oh, you got to have a big finale, but do you really? Like, you could still have that hour. Like, for me, the finale is always kind of the sleepy part of the season. It's like we're just kind of waiting for the last 20 minutes, And we're going to get, of course, like if it was American Idol, we're going to get a 10-minute portion of Jennifer Lopez dancing and lip syncing badly. Like that's just kind of the finales for me.
Don't remind me of that.
I'm just saying, like I get it, but I feel like you could have done it better is what I'm kind of thinking.
Okay, well, we have our episode title. Let's go to the actual episode.
All right, let's go on and start talking about Christina Ramos. She is a singer. She is the winner of Spain's Got Talent. She is, she's like an opera rock singer, which is a classification I've like rarely heard. Like
I've heard of rock opera before.
Every time I hear rock opera, I always think of Jesus Christ Superstar, which is the only like synonymous, like I hear rock opera and it automatically, I can't, like that's the only thing in my head that I think of. It's just kind of not my like expertise and area, but it is an area and it has fans, and kind of Christine is kind of the representation of that. So she is performing, she does something, it was a really strange performance. It starts out, it's like Rihanna by that's how you say it, right? Rhiannon or Rihanna? I always confuse this.
I don't know, but it's Call Me.
It's Fleetwood Mac. No, it was Fleetwood Mac. It was the first like couple of seconds, and then it kind of transitions to Call Me by Blondie. At least that was in my head. Was I going crazy? I thought the beginning. I thought the intro was Rhiannon because I
don't know.
Anyway, go on.
Okay,
Sorry.
So here's the thing about her performances, both of them I've seen so far, and we'll see. She gets a 50% because the opera part is painful. The rock part's pretty good. But 50% is not a passing grade. It's a failing grade. Because if half of your performance is screeching and makes my ears hurt, that's not a good thing. This is the part of the episode where, first of all, I watched the first hour of the show live last night. So I actually got to see the full introductions, full judges' comments, all that stuff for the first time this season. So I'm really annoyed that they open up the show and it feels like a live show. Like they have the same introduction, they have like a traditional VT for each of the contestants, and then they have the name go on screen, and then it cuts to them in the theater. So that part feels live. But the problem is they kept the stupid judge and audience cutaways, like it's pre-taped. And Howie's talking over a performance, and he needs to shut up.
Wow! Oh, I'm sorry. Was I interrupting you? Were you doing something? Wow! That's what that was.
Yeah, Howie needs to either shut up or at least have his mic turned off. One or the other. But it was driving me crazy. I mean, because like, Idol was going over the top 20 on Facebook today of past season Idol. They did the top 20 round, and they had the same issue of Lionel not shutting up during their performances. So I'm like, either give us studio versions of the songs so we can listen to them without you saying wow and oh my god and yes and all that other crap, or shut up. One or the other. Those are your options.
I was getting flashbacks to American Idol season 13 where Caleb Johnson was performing Dream On in the finale. And as he gets to the big note, like the screechy, like the everything note, it cuts to Jennifer Lopez singing the song, singing it instead of.
But you couldn't hear her, so that's better at least.
Yeah, this was worse.
At least. This is way worse.
I hate that. I absolutely
It drives me insane.
For me, the live shows are probably the best part of America's Got Talent because you can't have that.
Because you don't hear the judges talking over shit.
Because we get to make the decision. Howie, you don't get to tell me how to feel. I will
and
tell
you don't get
myself
to ruin clean audio of a good performance if that was a good performance.
Another point I want to make is in her intro package, she slams a guitar down. Could have been a good guitar. Why do we need to do that? Because it shows how metal she is.
Okay.
I don't know. For me, this is just a weird song. Like this is a performance that a contestant performs like at the top 12 or top 13 of American Idol and gets in the bottom 3. Like this is not a finale song. This is not a song that is like there are finale songs and then there are like opening songs. It doesn't make sense, and I'm sorry, but I don't understand how she made it this far.
Preach.
Paul Zerdin, Kenichi Ibina, like there's so many other names.
Piff.
Jackie Evanko, Tate
Piff.
Pace, like we
Piff.
got Christina Ramos. And I'm sorry, I will say, I do want to say, when she wasn't doing her rock opera, like kind of thing, she hit like a B+ for me. Like she was good. There were it was I don't remember who said it. There were like strokes of brilliance. I don't remember who said that.
Totally.
But like in it was kind of
muddled.
It's
I'd
like
say there were parts that were A's and parts that were F's.
It's like I always think in my head of like one of those pottery spinning things, like someone's like kind of making a little vase, and it's like the vase is all there. It just needs to kind of be reshaped a little bit. Like everything is there. Like Christina, if she wasn't doing the opera thing, like she'd be really good. And
Exactly.
like it's just it needs to be molded a little bit more. Like it needs to take that part out and kind of go forward from there. But this was probably bottom 3 of the night for me.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I do just want to give a moment to shout out our chat members. Azad says, "Thank God Mel and Heidi are gone. Hopefully Gabrielle and the other girl do better." Yeah. Skip that one. Grace Sweeney says, "Do we think that Mel was fired or that she's leaving on her own? I think Tyra and Heidi are leaving on their own, but I can't help but think that Mel might have been fired."
I think Heidi and Mel were fired. I don't think.
Did Tyra leave on her own? Do you think?
I think she might have quit on her own, but Mel and Heidi were fired.
I gotta tell you, I really don't like this kind of this new system that shows have, where it's like we keep the panel for a couple of years and then we switch it. Like if it's
working, stick with it.
No,
but it wasn't. But to be fair, it wasn't working. So
I like the continuity. I like having it being like I feel like for as much as I don't like the judges, like they add that level of continuity to it, and I don't like when it kind of gets reshuffled, like and new people kind of come. Just my opinion. Like it kind of almost like detaches me a little bit, just because it feels like a new show.
You wouldn't be saying this if Howie was cut, right?
Well, that's different. That's
exactly.
I'm allowed to be hypocritical when it comes to Howie.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, let's move on to Preacher Lawson, the only comedian. Am I correct? Yeah, our only.
I don't think there was a comedian on stage in this finale, but we'll get to
that. Preacher Lawson. He says he isn't the funniest comedian. He has a intro package. It's funny. We did the X Factor UK, and they call the intro packages VTs, and in my head I was kind of like,
well, that's what
the lasting effects of it. It shows. I just use that like the word association. It shows him at the gym, very driven. He seems really into it. His performance, he tells some jokes about drugs and alcohol, and there was one joke that kind of really stood out to me about he talks about women going to the gym and picking up dumbbells. That part was really funny. Like that part got me to chuckle, which is rare for comedians on America's Got Talent. But what did you think, Eric?
Preacher has made me laugh twice in his life, and both times related to losing to Darcy.
I should find that out. Yeah, his intro package or VT. He's like all confident.
As when the producer tells him that Darcy's back, and he actually gives a genuine reaction, like, "What?
He's
Why?"
Like, well, at least I beat Darcy. Like at least I did that, and then Darcy's back, and it's like, oh no, it's like House of Cards just blows out.
I will say it's really sad that the only 2 times he's made me laugh is when he's reacting to losing. It's not a good sign, because that says that he can be funny when he's on the spot, but all of his material is garbage.
Yeah,
that's what it means.
The standard of comedy on America's Got Talent is kind of for Tate Face, Pip the Magic Dragon, and Taylor Williamson are kind of the comedians that really stand out, and none of them are here. None of them have made it. But Preacher, he's a funny dude. Maybe it's just because you have to be there. I don't know. Is there like an effect of like the difference between watching a comedian perform and actually being in the audience that like get back and forth?
I will say there is an effect, but I would have laughed at least once if he was funny.
I did laugh. I laughed like I got a couple. He got a couple of chuckles out of me, like I said, which is rare.
He got a smirk out of me at best.
But you know what? For America's Got Talent comedians, besides for Piff the Magic Dragon, take him out of the equation. Has anyone else gotten Eric to belly laugh on the show? Ooh, I'm just thinking Leo Shemtov, the guy who did do you remember that name?
Yes, I do. I remember him. I'd
With
say
the tissues?
The human fountains made me laugh. The stand-up comedians, there have been tons on Britain's Got Talent that I have genuinely enjoyed.
That guy with the butterfly costume?
No, let's not go there. On Britain's Got Talent, there have been like 3 or 4 comedians in the past that I've actually genuinely laughed at and enjoyed and would have loved to see win. But not on America's Got Talent. Sucks.
Yeah. This another example, bottom 5 for me. But I like Preacher. I just want to say this is not like me like being harsh on Preacher. It's just I'm kind of expecting a little bit more. And I don't know.
Here's my thing. I'm not a Preacher fan. He seems like a decent person. He seems funny off camera. But the problem is, if you're a comedian, your job is to make me laugh. And all of his jokes don't make me laugh. His banter and stuff makes me laugh. That's not good. So I honestly, I would put him as my lowest act of the night.
I did laugh when he rips off his shirt and he says, "You better have laughed. That cost me $6." That got me to laugh.
That's a good line.
I like that one. I was like, that's a good one. Maybe I would use that one day when I'm ripping my own shirts. Anyway,
we don't need to see that. Okay, let's talk about the most talented act that's ever been on the show.
Eric is going to have a lot to say about Darcy Lynn, the first wild card of the night, performing 3rd. Bit of a surprise there. That's kind of early. I'll hand this right over to you, Eric. First of all, one last thing. Sorry. She's performing an opera song, which the name of which I'm not even going to try to pronounce or
never am I.
Never. But what did you think about it, Eric?
She's in a league of her own. Plain and simple. I've seen her sing so many different things. I never in a million years would have predicted that she would sing opera. And to be clear, I don't like opera. It's not my thing at all. I don't enjoy it. But I don't care because she was singing a completely different style of music when she usually sings with her mouth shut and nailing it. I'd say better. She sang better than half the singers tonight with her mouth shut. And I just think she's in a league of her own. She deserves to win, 100%.
I'm going to say that of the singers tonight, and there are a lot of singers, Darcy is by far a step away from the other ones. She's hands down, like in my opinion, I think the performance of the night. I can't believe she was cut. Darcy Lynn was cut.
We're not going to dwell on that because we don't.
Darcy Lynn was cut.
Fine, we can dwell on it a bit because it makes no sense that she could cut, especially after you see a performance like this coming from her.
Yeah, I love the one part where she does the intro and she does the echo. Like she uses the puppet to kind of like as if she's calling to the balcony. I was like, that's cool. Like I was like, ding, like she got me. Like that's a cool thing. I love when she performs. She's kind of on that border of like like a child singer where it's like not cringy, but it's still like it's not on. I'm just saying like she kind of does the cutesy things of child singers, but it doesn't go into the like cringy territory. Do you kind of get that vibe? Do you think?
No, I just ignore the fact that she's a child entirely because she's a star.
I'm gonna say I think Darcy top 3 performance of the night, probably even 1, honestly, in my mind. I do have a bit of a bone to pick with Eric about Darcy because I actually know this song. I went back and funny enough, I actually rewatched it because this was the song that Jackie Evancho performed on America's Got Talent for her kind of sort of audition. It was the YouTube special. And it was kind of, it wasn't an audition. I don't even know how to describe it. It was like I don't even remember what the YouTube special episodes were. And I feel like when Eric, you and I, when we watch shows like American Idol and The X Factor, whenever they're like the kid singers, we always say, oh, they're going to be so much better in like 6 years. Oh, they just need a few more years to kind of get better. And I feel like when we were talking a little bit about Jackie, like she took those years. And I feel like it's kind of the reverse of what we usually say, where for some reason, like, what happens with Darcy now as an adult? Are we just gonna pass her by for kind of the new younger singers who are kind of have these larger than life? I want to get your take on that, Eric.
I'm not focused on that right now, honestly. The thing is, right now she's more talented than people twice her age. So, in my view,
Right. That's fair. I just really wanted Jackie to be here.
I'm sorry.
I'm so bummed.
I think Darcy just obliterated the need for someone like Jackie to be there.
I guess, but one thing I do want to say: why didn't Howie wow this performance? Why was he wowing the Christina Ramos performance and not Darcy?
I'm not complaining about that because I didn't want to hear him wowing it. I wanted to hear Darcy sing.
Good point. Touche. Touche. Didn't even think of it that way. Anyway, let's move on to Deadly Games, the one and only Danger Act performance of the night. They were cut, I believe. They didn't even make it to the finals of America's Got Talent. They were cut in the semifinals. Am I correct? Maybe. Yeah. I think. Which I got to tell you, that's a huge improvement. Okay. Cut in the semifinals, back for the finale of the Champions. What did you think, Eric?
So here's a fun twist. I actually did watch them this time. I watched. This is the first Danger Act I watched. Still not my thing. I didn't like it, but I did watch. I didn't like it, but I watched. So I gave it a shot.
What did you think?
I gave it a shot and I didn't miss. Thank God. Like I didn't.
Oh God. Oh God. The thing is, kind of a few mistakes in this performance, and not just simple mistakes, but major mistakes. And this is the Champions. This is, you are here while tape-faced Kenichi Ibina, why Emily West, who wasn't even on this season.
Why do we keep leaving out Piff? Piff was the one who deserves to be here.
All these names, all these people kind of, I would buzz them, honestly.
I might too, but
for
other reasons.
I wouldn't buzz them though because I don't want anyone to die.
You buzz them between tricks.
Because they're doing the dude's got a crossbow.
You wouldn't do it right. You wouldn't do it when Simon did for the Regurgitator, where we got to open the.
The dude's pointing a crossbow at his wife. I'm not going to
scare the crap out of him and make him fire it.
What do you think would have happened? If that were to ever? Oh wait, it did actually happen.
It did happen. That was that bad.
I was thinking, the answer. What would happen? I did find it funny that right before the performance, it flashed a "Do not try this at home" on the screen, and I literally yelled at my screen, "America's Got Talent producers, where do you think I'm going to get a crossbow?" Where the hell do you think I'm gonna get this kind of stuff? You think I've got these huge ass knives and a wooden board? I don't know.
That would have been a good title, but it could have been done so much better. Still wins.
That should be the title of this episode. Where am I gonna get a crossbow?
No. Sorry.
The other one was better.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, for me, Deadly Games, the fact that there were mistakes kind of downgrades the performance a little in my mind. It kind of took it from at best a B+ to a C+, and that's, I think, being a little generous. Do you think so too, Eric?
Downgrade the whole episode or downgraded their performance?
I think that it's downgraded it from at best, the ceiling of this performance could have maybe been a B+, and it kind of was downgraded by the
mistakes. Okay. Yeah.
I downgraded to a C+.
Okay.
It's such a we're being such downers. This is the Champions, and I want a season that lives up to that name because
we got a couple of performances that lived up to it.
We got a couple, but I don't want to. Anyway, let's talk about Kechi. Kechi is performing Sia's Opportunity. She has her story about being in a plane crash where she and I believe one other girl were survivors of the entire plane, and they were all, I believe, students. It's a pretty terrible story. But what did you think about her performance last night, Eric?
Putting the story aside, honestly, I wasn't paying that much attention. And the problem was she couldn't really hold my interest. I was sort of zoning out listening to it.
Yes, this is another bit of an example of Kechi is all story. Like she has this story that it hits you where you live. Like it's real things. Like you can imagine, like you can't even imagine what she's gone through. But the thing is, her talent doesn't live up to the standard of what the level we're supposed to be at. She's a phenomenal person, but she's outclassed a little bit in terms of raw talent. And I like her as a person, and I don't like saying this, but I think there are better people who could have maybe been here, Eric.
Agreed.
Yeah. She just, I don't think she could have, she doesn't belong at this stage. Like she should, I don't know. That's all I can really say. I don't really have too many notes. She has a beautiful voice. Like she sang well. It's just not
in the top 12 acts that have ever been on the show.
Exactly. That's kind of the issue I have with it. One of the judges actually says that a little bit, and they get pretty badly booed. But I'm gonna agree. I think it was Mel B who said that.
It was Mel.
It was.
Mel was the one who's willing to get booed.
Good old Mel, going down swinging. Can you imagine if this was live? Like this season was live, and they just break the news that you're getting replaced. Like if I'm Mel B,
I wouldn't show
all
up.
y'all getting trashed.
I wouldn't have shown up.
I'm all hitting the buzzers from all of you. Even Heidi Klum, I'd be like,
mm-hmm.
Can you imagine?
I can't, so let's not talk about it.
All right, let's move on to Brian Justin Crum. Brian is a singer. Eric's, I'm going to guess maybe his favorite act of America's Got Talent history. Am I correct?
No.
Top 4?
Best pure singer that's ever been on the show. But I've ever excelled too.
What did you think he's performing Never Enough from?
Da, 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 da.
I hate this song.
We should have waited for overdone songs.
I goddamn hate this song. I can't hear it anymore. I can't take it anymore. I have heard this on every show, and it just doesn't go away. The Greatest Showman's never leaving.
It's not. Having said that, Brian's a phenomenal vocalist. The best pure singer I think that's ever been on the show. I follow Brian on Twitter. He did say that he didn't choose the song, to be clear.
Shocker.
I know, it's not a shocker. And he wasn't happy with how it was edited. And I say he's right to be unhappy because this didn't show fully what he's capable of. It was good. It was competent, but he's capable of doing something stellar, and this wasn't stellar.
Like, I've heard this argument so many times. Like, why can't the producers let the talent be great? Like, why can't?
Yes.
I think it was Michael Slezak who said that. Like, why can't these contestants, Brian Justin Crum with Emily West, is one of the best singers to ever be on America's Got Talent stage. Like, the best. Like, he is the cream of the crop. And he's capable of magic. Like, magic.
Creep with magic.
And instead, he's given this song that, first of all, I cannot stand, just on a personal level.
And here's the thing. I like the song, but it wasn't the right song for him.
It's so overdone. It's been released. It's been out for like a year, and it's already been on every show we've covered, Eric. I think American
Idol.
Some
of them multiple times.
What is it the deal? Like, why is the... I'm going to start ranting. But like I said, he is capable of something special, and we kind of got Brian Justin Crum light. Like, we kind of got, like, the watered down, like, not...
And the excruciating thing is that I don't think it was entirely his fault, and that's the annoying part.
That's just... That's the part where when you start, like, digging past the curtain of America's Got Talent, you kind of notice the cracks. Like, that's kind of an example with me. But it wasn't my favorite performance of his, is what I'll say.
Is what I'll say, same thing. It was still a phenomenal vocal, but it could have been even more phenomenal if it was a different song and they didn't force it on him.
Yeah. That's just something. Ugh, ugh. Just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. It's like he is like one of the best. And anyway, let's talk about our second wild card. It is John Dorenbos, and I gotta tell you, when he walked on stage and I see 4 boxes, I got nervous because
it wasn't the same 4 boxes.
The same 4 boxes where one of them there's something bad. There's like a knife, and he's gonna slam his hand, and he's gonna. Thank God, that was not it. And instead, he does this trick where it involves like cards, and he has them pick like pictures, and he ends up turning it around, and he kind of correlates the judges to something they pick. Always notice it's always written in chalk. Like the back is always like on these tricks. I don't know, maybe something to do with how it's revealed. But I gotta tell you,
it's a gimmick chalkboard.
But I gotta tell you, his performance, it has this reveal where he kind of predicts what the judges are going to pick, but he did something that is a little bit exactly what I would kind of love America's Got Talent, the Champions to be, where it kind of references it echoes back to his first performances, like each of the aspects of his show. Like it's kind of there's like a video that's always like memed of George Lucas saying it's like poetry, sort of, it rhymes. Like that's kind of it brought a different, like the good. This was prime America's Got Talent. What I can like about it, it's when it has that magic, when it gets the member berries kind of bubbling in my head. Eric, I loved it. I love this performance, and it's weird because John Dorenbos has never been a favorite of mine, but I really like this. What did you think?
My problem is his presentation is always great. Always is great. And I like the idea of calling everything back. But I can't get over the fact that I've seen this exact trick done before and how easy it is to do for a magician.
So it's all the illusion of choice.
Yeah, but the point is that, for example, the second magician of that Shin Lim, his tricks, I can't figure out how half of them are done.
Because they're actually magic, Eric.
I know it's not fair to compare John and Shin Lim, but it is fair because they're both magicians and they're both on the finale. And Shin Lim wiped the floor of John Dorenbos.
Well, they both have kind of the different energy. Like John Dorenbos is kind of like the hype man. They're like, yeah, I'm going to show you something amazing. Yeah. And Shin Lim is kind of like I'm
actually going to show you something amazing.
Okay. After the show?
I'm saying that Shin Lim is saying that I'm actually going to show you something.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God, you thought I was going to say something. Okay.
I thought there was like another performance.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have an imaginary friend or something like that. Like I'm going to perform after the show ends.
All right. Anyway, that's kind of, like I said, John Dorenbos, pretty good step up. Like I came away from this performance not kind of forgetting it in my mind, which is a huge step up. And
wow, that's a low bar.
Well, it's the champions, Eric.
Okay.
Let's talk about Angelica Hale, the runner-up to Grace?
Darcy.
Yeah. She came in third.
Second.
No, then I thought Preacher said he was the runner-up to Darcy.
Did he?
I could have sworn I remember like he said he was a runner-up to Darcy.
Well, if he did, he's a liar.
No, that could just be like me having a...
Preacher didn't make top 5.
He didn't make top 5. I don't know why I'm thinking that. Anyway.
Because they called him up with Darcy to get into the top 5.
Yes.
And that was when Preacher made me laugh for the first time.
Yeah, and he was like...
he's like, I know I'm done. Just kill me already.
He's like the Jonah Hill meme, like where he's just like...
No, it was more dramatic. He bursts into laughter. He's like, damn
it. All right. She's performing Impossible by Chantel. This song is old for me. Like,
by the way, it's by James Arthur in my book, but
I remember by Chantel. I remember when this song came out. Like, this was I was starting like one of my first jobs, like when I was like in my early years of high school. I think it was maybe even earlier than that. And I just remember like I liked it. Like this was a chill, like I have like a lot of member berry memories of it.
I have a ton. That song.
But you know what? It's one of those kind of rare songs that I'm not sick of yet. It's kind of like a wine. Like it gets better with age. Like I could still hear it and still love it. I don't know if that's just me. What are your thoughts on the song, Eric?
James Arthur killed it. That's my thought on it.
I didn't watch James Arthur's performance.
Boo. Go back.
Anyway, Angelica Hale.
It was his winning single, by the way.
Okay. Angelica Hale. What did you think about her performance?
She's wonderful, but in no way better than Darcy or Brian Justin Crum as a singer. And it's less impressive that she can sing like this as an 11-year-old than it was when she was 9.
She's a really good singer.
Oh, she's really good.
She's like...
Problem is, she's up
really
against
good.
People who are phenomenal.
Do you think this is, though, like, the ceiling for her? Do you think she's...
I don't know is the thing. I mean, I think when she was 9, she was already a better singer than most people in their 30s. So...
This girl is like, not only that, but she is like YouTube magic.
Oh, she has a ton of fans.
I gotta tell you, like, I almost like, I get that she's a really good singer, but I didn't expect her to be like that big. She's like on trending like every week, and she's a really, really, really good singer, but I didn't think she's like going viral on YouTube.
She's a kid, that's why.
Yeah, but I gotta tell you, she's got a big future ahead of her.
Totally.
Get her on like a Disney show. Like that's where she kind of needs to go. Her parents should get her into acting classes. She's
gonna be in a movie soon. So
really, what movie?
Don't know what movie, but I saw that she's gonna be in a movie. So
good. I'm just having this image of like in high schools they do a reunion. Like I'm imagining like America's Got Talent, like 15-year reunion, and Angelica Hale comes in and she's like got a huge coat on and she's like just throwing money, like she's this huge like star, and everyone else, and you see just like Pip the Magic Dragon like smoking, going. Ugh.
I'm not gonna sign off on that.
You get what I'm saying though a little bit. Like,
I don't, because I wouldn't have picked Piff as that act.
All right, not Piff. Anyone. But like I said, she's gonna be big.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on to Ksenia Simonova. She is the winner of Ukraine's Got Talent, and she was Terry Crews's golden buzzer. I want to say that about Ksenia. I've warmed to her a bit, like recently while I was watching her performances. I went back and I actually watched her Ukraine's Got Talent performance. This is like, it's something we've like rarely, like we see singers, we see dancers. It is really rare that we see like a stand artist. There's only one other that I can really think of in my memory. And I think he came in 3rd place. But what she does is really, she works fast and fast and good. Like she's really talented.
Extremely.
What do you think, Eric?
Super impressive and unique. And while you've warmed to her, I've actually gotten a little bit softer on her because I was blown away by her last time. This was good. It was great. It was something I'm glad I got to see. But I know that I couldn't watch a full hour of it.
Go on. I'm sorry.
I just couldn't watch it for a full hour, and that's problematic if you're on a show where you for prizes. Like, well, there's no prize on the show, but if she was on the real show and she was doing the same thing, I wouldn't want her to win because I couldn't actually sit through a full show of her.
While I was watching this performance, her intro package, I was just having a horrible thought. Like this horrible idea came to my head, and it was like, what if she starts performing and it's like the Pledge of Allegiance, and she starts doing like an America thing, like you know what they did like with Attraction, where it's kind of pandering. I was like, oh no, like I was just thinking that in my mind, and I was like, please don't happen. But thankfully it wasn't, and it was just like a thought in my head. But I gotta tell you, this is beautiful. Like,
objectively gorgeous and really talented and super unique, something I've never seen before, unlike you. And I just love it. But I couldn't watch it for a full hour, so it's not my favorite act.
Yeah, that's maybe the problem. Maybe it's like kind of a novelty thing where you kind of just watch it for like a couple of minutes and then
you're blown away by it.
You're blown away. Maybe, what do you think she needs? Does she need something bigger? Does she need something like what is stopping this from being a big show?
I'm not creative enough to know the answer to that.
That's a hard question. That's for Ksenia to figure out. But enjoyed this performance. I've gone back. I really like her, and she's a talented person. She is a talented person.
100%.
Anyway, let's keep it going and talk about the first winner of Britain's Got Talent, Paul Potts. He is performing the song he auditioned with for Britain's Got Talent. It is Nessun Dorma. I got the name right. I'm proud of myself. What do you think about Mr. Paul Potts, Eric?
I thought it was great. Darcy was more impressive because she sounded better with her mouth shut. The one thing I'll say is that he seems like a lovely person, and good for him for paying tribute to Nellie Boyd.
Yes, finally, he died like Neely Boyd died. Was it during last season?
I think, yeah.
Was it before or during? I don't remember.
Before or during sometime during last season, I think.
Yeah, someone finally is acknowledging it.
Yeah, good for him.
Poor dude. Like, I don't remember. I didn't follow Neely Boyd's run. Were you familiar? But to not acknowledge it. Like,
yeah, that's kind of shitty.
Simon Cowell, dude, one of your winners died. You gotta, I don't know. I will say for me, Paul Potts, top 3 of the night, I would say.
I wouldn't, but
I would say he's incredible. Just really, really good. Like, and I love that he is that legend. He represents something huge in the Got Talent franchise. And I'll never not like one of his performances. I thoroughly enjoy when he performs. I love that he paid tribute to Neil E. Boyd. That's kind of the thing is I also don't have that much more thoughts about him. He's kind of just incredible. Like, and that's kind of really all I have to say. What about you, Eric?
I said enough. I think he's good. I like Darcy better, and I'm really happy he paid tribute to Neil E. Boyd.
Yes. All right, Eric. It is time to talk about the demon, the wizard, the magician, Shin Lim, the most recent winner of America's Got Talent. This dude, well, he's magic. He does these things, and they're not supposed to happen, but he makes them happen. What did you think? I'm
gonna knock him down a peg by saying that he basically did this exact same performance in the semifinal.
Yes, you are correct.
But I'm going to take him back up a peg and say it doesn't matter because I've seen this act before. I don't care how many times I see it. It's still astonishing. And the little part with the cups and the cards in Howie's cup, nice touch at the end like that. Clearly he has multiple cards is my theory of the same card. But
Eric, it's magic.
But
don't take this away from me.
The cool part is the part that I don't understand at all is how he just makes them all disappear to thin air. I don't get that. The things just disappear in front of our eyes, and I don't know how he does it. He's just really, really good. And yeah, he's in my top 2, despite the fact that I've seen this before. I don't care. He's in my top 2.
He's my other top 3. I think it was Darcy, Paul, and Shin Lim were kind of my top 3 of the night. Shin is just, it's incredible how we've gone from this dude was unknown, like until not unknown, but like before last season, like.
No, he was known. He had 50 million views for his Got Talent for his Penn and Teller video.
Well, all right, he was new to me. I'll rephrase it.
He was new to you, but a lot of people knew who he was.
Yeah. I love that. Like, it's kind of this guy kind of comes out of nowhere and he's bam right up to like a contender for the Got Talent franchise champion season. I love that about him. He's really good.
Yeah. Objectively, he's amazing.
I still never watched his Penn and Teller performance, and
we've seen him before, but you need to see your comments about it. We didn't even know how you managed the mother effing marker. Was their reaction to him?
Is he like self-taught? Like, how do you learn magic?
I don't know, but
you go on a quest. You pack a bag over your head and you go and you find the wizard in town.
You go on Reddit, I guess nowadays.
Well, that's the equivalent of going on a quest. Anyway, let's move on to our final performance of the night, the pimp spot performance. It is Susan Boyle. This is a big deal, being the pimp spot in the Champions finale. Like, it's a big deal. And Susan Boyle, the the definition of a Got Talent legend. She is larger than life. For the performance she took on I Dreamed a Dream, her original song from Les Mis that she performed at her audition, that like was the huge moment. And this is gonna be a little bit hard for me to say, but I didn't love this performance as much, Eric. What did you think?
I didn't. It was good. I got member berries because it was a call. Because it was see, I got them this time. You got them last time. I think it was a great callback to the defining Got Talent performance of all time. I'd say is what it was. And she's amazing. I don't think she deserves to win, especially because she's got a great voice, but she doesn't have a phenomenal voice. And her story is wonderful. She's a legend, but the voice, just based on talent alone, she's top 5, but not top 3 or top 2.
You know, even Susan Boyle, like a not amazing performance, is still, for me, she was in my top 5. I will say that. But the thing is, this song, this is I Dreamed a Dream. This is her moment. This is the thing that started it all. And she didn't seem into it. Like, she just kind of had this like blank face. Like, for me, this was like she was giving a concert and she wasn't performing for the champion's title. Like, this is one of those performances where someone's like, I've sung this song a million times and now I'm just going to sing it for you because everyone kind of expects me to. But this should be like the moment. I wanted her to go further. Like, she was kind of just
She's very shy, though, is the thing. She's very shy and reserved on stage. So it's
but she's done that before, where she's gone there. Like, she's capable. Like, she's done it at her audition. She went there. She like that. It's like that extra. It's like when the singer's kind of at a bar and you know they could take it one step further. They could push it out. Like it was kind of missing that for me. Like, and it shouldn't, because this is freaking Susan Boyle. Like, she is. I don't know. Am I crazy, Eric?
Sort of, not really, kinda. Yeah, I liked it. I wasn't blown away by it, but it is the defining Got Talent performance. So
yeah, she's just larger than life. I just want to say I can't sing my praises for Susan Boyle enough. So that is kind of all the performances. Who was your top 3, Eric?
Darcy Lynn number 1, Shin Lim number 2, Brian Justin Crum number 3.
I would say, like I said, Darcy, Paul, Shin Lim. Then rounding out the top 5, Susan and Ksenia, I would think.
Okay.
That's for me. What about you?
I just said that. I just gave my answers.
No, I was saying rounding out top 5.
Oh, for the last 2. Susan and that it gets tough. Crap.
It's all right.
I'll just say top 4. That's easier.
The show is over next week. We've got one more performance. I have to find my old suit T-shirt that I always wear for our finales. I'm a little bummed that there's going to be no crowns, because I love when I can, when we
Idol for that.
We're gonna be doing that definitely for Idol, which I am getting so excited for. With more news comes out, I'm just it's gonna be fun. We're gonna be there to recap it. Any final thoughts, Eric, on the episode before we maybe move into the close and spoilers?
Nope. Let's
all right, so let's go into spoilers.
But first, who are you and what are you doing here?
What?
You're introduce yourself, damn it.
All right. I'm sorry. I it's been a long day. I am Adam Samuel. You can find me on Twitter at Adam Soapbox, or on my 2 podcasts, Adam's TV blog and Adam Soapbox. Where can we find you, Eric?
Eric_Ascher on Twitter, ericascher.com, ericascher01 on YouTube. And you can subscribe to us on iTunes, like us, Spotify, Google Play Podcasts. If you can't find us, let me know, because I want to put us everywhere. And yeah, just like, subscribe, tell your friends. spread the word about this because we enjoy doing it. So
I love doing these podcasts, and I have started to watch our iTunes. Like, I don't know if it's like a little cynical, but like when I go to the gym, I started listening to our podcast. Is that weird?
cynical is not the right word. What's the word? There's a word for that.
I don't know. It was just
I don't know what it is ever.
Narcissistic.
That's the word. Yes. Ding, ding, ding. That's the word I was thinking of.
I don't know. It's just me. It's something I enjoy doing.
Okay.
I didn't even think it was weird, but yeah, I do listen. And I want to say, Eric, he puts a lot of effort into them. So if you're watching this, go check us out on iTunes. Also, we are at 67 subscribers. If we please can get to 70. Anyway, let's talk spoilers. This is going to be your spoiler warning. You have been warned. Spoilers. I wish I could do the Darcy sound effect where it's like spoilers. Eric, what do you got for us?
Well, we know the top two are the right top two, but we don't know which one wins.
Yes. Can you believe it? Who would have thought that we've watched this entire season and there's still a chance we're going to be blindsided? Yeah.
Well, not completely, because we saw the photo of the top two.
Yeah, the top two is pretty much set in stone, but
we've had conflict
now up in the up for grabs, and that's pretty crazy. Can you imagine if Shinlin wins? I would get it, but that's like that kind of blows my mind a little bit. Like
I would be perfectly happy with either of them.
I would be happy, but it's just the dude just showed up like the last season and bam, like it's just like
it would go with what they always say though, that each season has to be the best season ever.
Can you?
So that's
I guess
why
last
it would happen.
was. That just like blows my mind that someone could just show up for the first season, win,
again.
and
Maybe
win
the hype
again.
is working on these super fans.
Super fans.
I did that already. Maybe the hype works for them, and they believe when the judges say this is the best season of America's Got Talent ever, and you just won.
All right, Eric. Any final thoughts, or shall we wrap this up?
Let's wrap it up.
All right, guys. So here's going to be the schedule. So we are going to be back next week for the finale recap of America's Got Talent, The Champions. And then I think it's 2 weeks later or 1 week later, we got American Idol coming up.
I think it's March 3rd, right?
So is it 1 week or 2 weeks?
It might be 2 weeks, might be 1 week. Regardless, we're going to have a podcast every week because we're going to do a couple bonus episodes.
Yes, we are going to be doing a pre-American Idol podcast. I do want to say we've got some potentially exciting guests coming by.
We're not going to name them because that would be ruining things.
Yes, you can follow us on Twitter. We will make any announcements there. Pretty excited for American Idol. It's starting to feel a lot like that season that I love. Like whenever like the winter starts to a little bit die down, even though there was like a snowstorm outside my house today, like I kind of feel like it's like the American Idol air. Like it's in the air, and I'm excited. And otherwise, we will be back next week, guys. This was fun. Check us out, iTunes, Spotify, on Twitter, Feedburner, anywhere else. And if you can't find us there, let Eric know. Guys, peace.